and welcome back to our Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon game. Um, just like last week, we continue with this one shot, this prelude to Season 3. And before we begin, I would like to extend my thanks to RX Experiments for lending us the song you're about to hear in the intro. Furthermore, we also would like to promote our own book that has come out some time ago, but is currently receiving frequent updates. Sabbat the Schism. It is an addition to V5 with lots of goodies that you might like. A lot of the plot points in that book connect to this game. So if you like this game, you're probably going to enjoy that book. We stream every week here on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you like what you see and you want to see some more, you can find our videos on YouTube, and we urge you to subscribe to both Twitch and YouTube because it does genuinely help us a lot. Feel free to comment and speak in chat. We usually keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we hope you enjoy this week's session of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. We join Rhodes as he finds himself in a long hallway. He looks to either side, and with the flicker of the lights, it is hard to see past this almost endless darkness that slowly approaches you. As you look around in this uneasy panic, you hear this screeching of metal scratching against the wood, the stone. And you hear a faint cackle echoing throughout the hall. What would you like to do?
Try to see anything and grab a gun if I have one on me.
You reach back for your handgun, and as your arm brushes against your side, you realize that you are wearing your military attire, and you have your rifle with you.
Then if there's a wall, I'll back to it.
Now, it's a hallway to both sides.
Yeah, but to not have my back open.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, normal ready stance.
Yeah.
Ready to shoot whatever the fuck's gonna go.
As you hear the sound getting closer, it echoes throughout the hallway in a way where you can't really tell which direction it's coming from. You feel your heart pounding in your chest, faster and faster. You see a faint shape appear to your left, right where, right on the edge of where the light reaches. And then the light fails, and the darkness reaches forward. Then you find a similar shape approaching you from the other side, and the same thing happens. The screeching, almost like nails on chalkboard, is getting louder. The cackle is getting closer.
Assume next one's gonna appear on the left, so I'm gonna like do a burst that way.
You aim your rifle, and without hesitation, you pull the trigger. And there's a dry
Fuck.
and just as you hear that sound, the lights go out, and you feel breathing on the back of your neck. You see, for just a flash, a pair of deformed, clawed hands digging into your chest through your uniform. And as they pull your chest apart and you screech in pain, you jolt awake in the Alzai barracks.
What the actual fuck was that? Is anyone around?
You look around. The barracks are pretty empty. It seems to be the end of the workday. So, while there's no one here, you do hear the occasional walking in the hallway just outside.
Yeah. I'll go check how long I've been asleep at least.
You look at the clock. You slept for about 12 hours.
Oh fuck. Yeah, I'll go out of barracks.
You get up, you put your shoes on, and you walk out of the barracks. As you open the door and enter this more open area with plenty of connections to the rest of the building, you look to your right to see, at the end of the hallway, an entrance to the pharmacy. Or not the pharmacy, the
Infirmary?
the infirmary, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go check there.
As you make your way into the infirmary, most of the beds are empty, though there are a couple of nurses, really medical volunteers, probably veterans themselves, who are essentially maintaining equipment, doing inventory checks. And one of them seems to leave the area where you have the beds, carrying a small key that they take to the locker rooms. This nurse opens the locker and begins to take out a number of clothes. As you turn into the general care area, you see on one of the beds, typing in his laptop, Tatum.
Seeing you here.
Well, I didn't expect you to give me a small little fracture when you punched me, so yeah, I'm here. I also soon need to get out of here, analyze whatever he did to himself to see what biocontaminant could it be? But from my search, I don't see anything that hits the mark with what he did. But maybe we're dealing with something new, which is, ugh. But anyway, how are you?
Lit like shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I expected you to be maybe a little bit more frenetic from, well, what we saw in the fight that ensued a little bit.
It was indeed fun. But I feel like, eh. There a coffee machine around here?
Well, not really. This is just the infirmary. The only thing that is, well, in
If
here
one
that
of the
you can
nurses passes by, I go like, "Excuse, ma'am, there's a chance to get a coffee around here?"
The nurse turns to you as, you know, she brings this pile of clothes and gear to Tatum, puts them on the bed, and says, well, you could go to the cafeteria. How often do you come here?
Decently.
So,
Often.
are you aware of where the cafeteria is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Of course, sir. Mr. Tatum, you are healthy enough to go. Remember to take your antibiotics and don't eat any hard foods for a while.
Yeah, I know the drill.
Of
Not the
course.
first time I broke.
You are welcome to leave whenever you feel like it. I'm about to clock out. There will be one nurse here in night shift, but I'm sure you won't need any further care. I'm confident in that. Have a good night.
Good for
Have a
leaving.
good night.
And she turns around and leaves.
Tatum looks at his clothing and equipment and kind of takes a look at old Mike and asks, I'll meet you in the lab. Gotta do the analysis for the blood work and whatnot.
Any food, coffee?
So meet me there. Try to find our other friend.
Yeah.
He says, now not paying too much attention and still looking at the screen in his computer like he's searching for a hidden piece to whatever puzzle he's trying to solve.
Yeah. Rose would just go to cafeteria. Grab like coffee at the point of a spoon physically being able to stand up in it.
Yeah. You don't even grab one of the usual mugs. You grab one of those breakfast mugs that are like extra large, made for like tea instead of coffee. And you just fill that thing to the brim. You take the coffee black and everything, and yeah. Do you take the coffee back into the infirmary?
If there's like a terminal with Persephone anywhere.
There isn't. Persephone is only active inside the restricted areas.
Yeah, I'll just go to the lab.
Okay.
Sipping coffee and like
as you
and feeling as broken as always.
As you finish making your coffee and turn to go to the lab, you see Tatum. You know, he finished getting dressed. He sees you at the end of the hallway. Tatum, do you join him on the way to the lab?
Yeah.
Yep. And as both of you head through the building and more to the back of the building to go to the lab, you see right at the entrance of the lab, right at the entrance of that restricted area, Kian holding the hard drive you found, not in a heated argument, but in a bit of a frustrated argument with Margot. And Kian just says, "Look, for the last time, we will examine it first, and we'll give the information to you."
Amalia, you're muted.
Amalia, you're muted.
We already found it. Why not?
I'm aware you found it. I'm aware. But there are things you are not meant to know just yet. You will. But it's best our team handles this first. Anything you found in the field, you bring it to us. We'll take a quick look at it. And we'll give you the results you need. Remember, you're still being tested for that promotion. We can't trust you with everything. I'm just confident you'll succeed.
Fine. Fine.
Thank you very much. And Ian puts the hard drive in his pocket and says, "Anything else you have found in the field, you should tell me. And you can leave it with one of my workers, okay?"
Mm-hmm.
Tatum just nods.
And Kian, with a big smile, gives a nod, says, "Good work out there, by the way," and turns to head down the hallway.
Tatum waits for him to be far enough away. Also, make sure there are no cameras focusing on him, or they have audio on them.
Not here, it isn't.
I mean, there's plenty of cameras. Whether you do it, subtly enough, that's up to you.
So Tatum just casually whispers to her, like he's pretending to make a joke, and says, "You really gave it to him, the drive, instead of checking out first?"
I tried to check it out first. It's like he showed up. Just as I was starting to examine the security of the hard drive.
Okay, so let's make sure he doesn't know about the blood vial that I have.
Were you planning then to examine it?
Can you hack the security system? Tatum
What do you mean?
gives a quick chuckle, like he just made a joke, as he's whispering towards her.
Was that AI? I hardly doubt it.
Well, can you make it go on a loop, perhaps, or something, just to turn off real quick?
No, honestly, even if I could, and I don't know how the fuck it works, and how advanced it is, I'm not losing my job for a vial of blood. Okay?
Well, do you have any equipment that is yours that we could use to analyze this blood?
I mean, you could probably use a microscope. I don't feel like microscope is like hooked up to AIs.
No, like
Perhaps.
everything here is hooked up to an AI.
I don't know, like there's like separate standing things that are not connected to the Wi-Fi. And Miguel, can you give a list of equipment in Margot's lab that's not connected to the Wi-Fi? It's just like it can be electronic.
Basically, anything that does not need computer processing to work. So, for example, to examine the chemical makeup of something, you would use a machine that essentially spins everything, like spins the vials. and then examines it and gives you the results on a computer. That would be potentially under the AI's scope. However, anything that's more mechanical or more based on human input, probably the AI wouldn't have control over that. So microscopes, simply using that machine that spins but not requesting
Centrifuge.
Centrifuge. Using a centrifuge but not requesting a set of results. If you do the whole process the hard way, you can do it covertly. Yeah.
Oh, then I guess I better go to work then. He says, clearly annoyed that he's not allowed to use any equipment, high-tech equipment that could be of help. I'm gonna get to work. You guys need anything?
Not really.
Then yeah. So Tatum starts getting to work and analyzing the blood without the use of computers.
Right. So, as you begin your analysis, I will have you roll, let's say, wits and medicine. I'll allow you to choose wits and medicine or wits and technology.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna go with wits medicine. Do I see any biocontaminants in the blood? Ah, There are mice, right? In the lab? Yeah, test lab rats. I would like to take a very small sample and inject into one of them to see if anything happens in particular. Any changes, any rashes perhaps, over the course of some hours. I imagine I don't have enough to do another test. Fuck. Okay. These are very fucking interesting notes. I guess I'll, after I'm done compiling everything, I'm going to meet up with the guys, the group, the Giga Chats, or whatever they wish to be called.
I'm probably inspecting like the other like I've probably went back into the secure wing. To basically have a look at other things we need to do. You need to remind me. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh, wait.
If she needs help with that, I can help. I'm not really dumb with computer either.
Oh, let me just sign in. I forgot to sign in.
I have 2 successes.
I'm just logging in. Sorry. Okay, what's in computer?
Wits in computer, please.
Oh. Oh, that's wrong. Wait, no,
Oh.
that's all correct. 2 successes, so 4 successes together.
Okay. So you do a bit of investigating online. Specifically, when it comes to the next location you'll need to investigate. And you figure out that it was formerly a tech shop, so it had like computers, phones, stuff like that. It was mainly a shop for repairs of these devices. Its past owners very often, like it's changed hands very often. The current owner, however, has declared that the shop is temporarily closed.
Okay. Who's the current owner?
Would you like a name, or just is there anything specific that you need from it?
I don't know. I'm just looking into.
Okay, so you look into the owner. You find a few profiles online, and make a very flat intelligence and investigation. This is to see if you intelligence investigation. I want to see if you manage to deduce something from these results.
Four successes.
So, after looking into the online activity this owner had, you find something odd. It seems that he's active in very sporadic patterns. He may go like a year without any activity, and then he has a couple of weeks where he's posting frantically, as if he's posted the entire year like that, and then he goes silent again. You find this kind of odd, and so you look online. What happened in general during that time? You find that the first time that this happened was in the early 2000s. And the more interesting times this happened were in the past year, where you had sometimes big events within the city where like big news stories in the city where at first there were some problems with like a drug epidemic. You'd remember it vaguely from the news, that there was this drug epidemic in LA. Then the drug epidemic vanished, and the guy vanished too. And then there was this absolute slaughter within Santa Monica. And he was very active. Yeah. And then, again, after a couple of weeks after, the guy vanished. Notably, you find that there was the aforementioned nuclear meltdown that happened in recent months. And the account had probably the longest streak it ever had of activity. Just constant posts and inquiries and a lot of activity for approximately a full month for it vanishing.
Wait, what is the content of these activities?
He seems to go into forums, blogs, and comment and theorize with a bunch of people. And you find that a lot of the time he asks a question. To give an example, like, do you think the government had anything to do with this? Do you think this is a cover-up? Sort of like a, conspiracy. Oftentimes, his posts get way more traction than you would expect for a post like that. And when you check the traction, a lot of the well, obviously there are a lot of AI bots responding to it. You can kind of tell because this is part of the stuff you work on. It strikes you as odd that some of the messages that don't sound like AI bots are very nonsensical. For example, in this context, you think the government had anything to do with this? One of the comments might be like, apparently, lemonade might be involved, and it doesn't make any sense, really. So there might be something there, but you don't really manage to figure out what. Not from this. Anyway.
Okay, sorry. Can you repeat it?
So, for example, in this post that the original account made, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the government had anything to do with this? Referring to the nuclear power plant melting down.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of traction on that post, a bunch of comments. And the ones you can tell are written by people sometimes don't make any sense. For example, there's one response that just says, apparently lemonade had something to do with it. Which you're not sure how that connects. So there's definitely something going on there. It's just you can't, with just this information, you can't really figure out what.
Okay. Anything else?
Nothing you can find right now. No. And at this point, if you would like to, Tatum, you would be done with your experiments, and you can rejoin your friends, colleagues.
So
at
yes, Tatum walks in casually. As he notices that they're doing some research. Yes. So what are you guys searching for?
Well, I'm looking into our other lead. Apparently, this guy is like the current owner recently said the shop is temporarily closed, and that it's and that's he's like usually very sporadically active. He's like, you know, and usually during like big events, like the drug epidemic, or like during the recent Santa Monica shit show, or like during the nuclear, like just like, yeah, like generally he's very inactive, but then
He gets active.
yeah.
I also have news, though mostly bad. Unsure, yeah. So you remember the very ugly guy that escaped, right?
I mean, if we can forget him.
Yeah, I did some looking into his blood, and some interesting, though very concerning things did show up. One is that his blood was unusually sweet smelling. At the same time, it also had a darker hue, like it was supposed to be